All right, so we need to make a decision, like I said, in regards to quarterback. We're down to 2-4 on the season. We got to try something different here. And it's not much of an opportunity. Word, that's insane. It's not much of an opportunity. But we are going to switch to our free agent signing, Cameron Harden, and kind of put Logan Gibbs into a background role here. I did want to look at his numbers so far, though, because maybe it's not that bad. Only has 5 touchdowns right now. Oof. 5 touchdowns through 5 games? 6 games. 5 and 2 through 6 games. I mean, obviously, we're just not gonna get to the playoffs like that.
Here comes a pizza. See it?
Polly, good morning to you as well. 39 months. Thank you for that. How the heck are you? I hope you're good. I hope you're well. Goodness, let me stay focused here for a second. A second, because we can switch off of the air raid now. And I think we can go back to that power running game that we had before. Rely on our running game. The problem now is that literally we have this game to try and decide what the hell we're going to do. If we're going to re-sign people or move them next week. And see if, like, oh, well, damn, it's going to take a little bit longer to get this team back. Apparently, our offense is the #1 rated offense, but our defense is 25th. Makes no sense. Gave up a school in Helsinki, began studying business in Kouvola. Fair enough. Fair enough. I had plenty of friends who started school for one thing, and then they're just like, So, I get it. I get it. Ambient as well. What's going on? All right, Devin Fowler, Ryan Wright, both getting a little bit better. Trying to make Devin Fowler better at pass coverage. He had 2 interceptions in the Super Bowl. You'd think he'd already be good enough in that regard, but what are you going to do? And then Ryan Wright. Let's get that accuracy better, which means his power will probably get better. Oh, okay, +2 accuracy. Not bad. Oh, goodness. We're in a really weird spot because I was really hoping we'd just be running teams off the field at this rate. Let's see what happens against Houston. If we drop to 2-5, that puts us into such a weird spot. Or are we going to lose? I don't like when it takes a while. We win, but barely. 18-17. Oh, God. That doesn't help at all. It's not like it's a convincing win. All right. Miss Trenkle. Let's put our focus on wideouts, I guess. Why not? God damn. All right. Okay. Well, it's a weird spot to be in. Because we could keep the team together and go for it. Let's double check what these guys want contract-wise. So Lonnie Reed. Again, it shows us with $121 million in cap room. Lonnie Reed's contract brings us down to 110. So obviously it's about $11 million worth of a cap hit for Lonnie Reed. That's not that bad. Bring him up to age 33. Cameron Walton's already 30. Only wants a 2-year deal, which is okay. That brings him to about $15 million then. in terms of the cap hit. Paulie, I hear that. Just studying something so I don't feel guilty for laying in bed and playing video games all day. That's why I started this. It's like, well, I play NHL franchise mode enough. Might as well just see if people want to watch me do it. And somehow you do all these years later. I don't understand it. Damian Johnson is actually willing to sign. A lot of these contracts are reasonable. They are reasonable. Like, if we consider the first three guys, that brings us down to $81 million in cap. But there are still some big freaking players, man. We know that DeAndre McGee, AJ depends on what it looks like once they get there. But I mean, I typically do play the UFC games, so we'll see. So McGee would probably be about $16 million. Just trying to see if we're going to be able to afford everybody. Deshaun Presley, we'd have to give him a little bit of extra money. He'd be at $16 million as well, which is pretty expensive. Deshaun Mooney at corner, I would likely have to very much overpay, but still, you actually only want $6 million for Mooney. That's not bad. Looking okay. And then Derek Ridley's the guy that we would have to overpay, and man, even up to like age 36. That would be the riskiest contract of the bunch, is Derek Ridley. And then we get like Cam Schumer on the O-line. Would only be wanting like $4 million a year, which is great. Which is great. And then nobody else would be that expensive. There are other offensive linemen, stuff like that. So looking at the big players, $121 million. If we were to sign everybody for what we think we'd get them for, it'd bring us down to about $23 million left. Which is honestly still pretty good. We could keep everybody that has a deal coming up around. The other alternative right now is to freaking blow it up. And get rid of a lot of those guys since they're older and cash out now. So we do know, if we wanted to keep people around, we could. I mean, we're at 3-4. It's still a good chance we can make the playoffs this year. If we were to blow it up, though, we start with Lonnie Reed, the 29-year-old tight end. What is he worth if we were to trade him? Yeah, kind of mid-level center. Slightly better tackle. Oof. Could trade him in for the younger model. Could trade Lonnie Reed in for the younger model, Deontay Ingram. That is, or a really good guard from Miami. Is there another X factor on the board? There is not. Chris Marshall's out there again. Okay. Go full Leo DiCaprio and just trade in Lonnie Reed for the younger model. Cam Walton. It'd break my goddamn heart to trade you. Get a really good young left tackle. Well, youngish left tackle. We could use Walton to get the tight end and then Lonnie Reed to get that guard from Miami. Oh, we could trade Walton in for the younger model. Chris Kitchens. Oh my God. That's insane. Tight end. Trade him in for the younger option. Oh my God. Temptation, you cruel bitch. That's fucking tough. But it could still keep the team in good shape. Again, Walton's 30. Lonnie Reed is 29. Then it was Johnson as a middle linebacker, but he's only 25. It was McGee at 27. Still younger. We had Presley at wide receiver, who's 28. Mooney at corner wasn't looking for that much, and then Ridley was looking for a shitload at 30 years old. Oh, boy. I really want to keep the team together. But, man, it again seems like a good time 2 years in a row to cash out on some of these dudes. I mean, in terms of the rebuild, my thought was, man, if we can win a Super Bowl year 1 or year 2 of this rebuild, then we're golden. But it looks like it might take a little bit longer than that. At the same time, it would really help us shift the core to this new younger quarterback here. I think we have to blow it up, right? Those trade offers are just too damn strong. They're just too damn strong. Son of a bitch. 2 years in a row, we didn't plan on this, but we're going to have a very busy deadline. So if we were to deal Lonnie Reed, there was a great guard from Miami, and Mason Green, who's an 84 at 23 years old. But the fact that there is a 24-year-old tight end on the Cleveland Browns, 2nd, a 6th, and a 7th. We look at Deontay Ingram, 2nd-year pro, 6'6", 250. He can catch. He's not a great route runner, but he's got hands, and he can move. Would he have interest in staying? We don't know. At the moment, no, but mentor in a position, we can fix that easily. By the time his deal's up, he's got 2 years left after the... I mean, Jesus, we have to. We have to. We can keep the team together, maybe make the playoffs, and maybe win, or we can future-proof a little bit. He has double me as an X factor. Literally get him in single coverage in the end zone. Touchdown. Also gets second wind. I think we got to go for the younger model. Right? I do agree with the idea of trying to get a first out of it. Lonnie Reed for Deontay Ingram in their first. What did I say? Yeah, the first rounder's worth quite a bit. No real surprise. We do have later draft picks, though. We have quite a few thirds. If we add one of those thirds... I mean, I'd be willing to add picks until they say yes. What about 2/3? We're getting there. So 2/3, one of our fourths. Oh my God, we have so many 5th rounders this year. Lonnie Reed, 2/3 and 2/5 for Deontay Ingram and the Browns' 1st round pick. You almost have to, right? You almost have to do that. I love Lonnie Reed. He's willing to take a $5 million pay cut. The thing about Lonnie is he's willing to take a $5 million pay cut. But he's 29. But damn it, he's the perfect tight end. He can catch, he can block. He's amazing. I feel like we have to do it, though. And then who knows, maybe we're able to bring somebody back as a free agent. You know, that's the other factor, is someone could come back as a free agent. Will Cleveland take the deal? Not quite. We'll keep adding on some of these mid picks to try and get that first, though. It's not a big deal. Yeah. Even if we have to go up from the 5th rounders, it's fine. Because again, at the draft, we could always trade down. So it's 2/3, a 4th, and 2/5 right now. That's still not enough. Let's go with 2/4. So my guess is we'll have to add another 3rd round pick. Yeah, let's get rid of that 5th. Although one more 4th might do it. But yeah, my guess is the 3rd rounder. Yeah, it's okay. So Lonnie Reed, 3 3rd rounders, 2 4th rounders for Deontay Ingram and the Browns first this year. Do they take it? Still no. Okay. Well, we're going to get other draft picks and other trades. All 4 thirds. All 4 thirds and then a lower pick. It's still worth it, man, to get that Browns first. What if we use a 7th here? They are quite stubborn. 7th won't do it. We'll try a 6th. Oh, Lonnie Reed. I'm so glad we won a Super Bowl with you. You're beautiful. But it's changing the window. 4 thirds and a 5th. Oh my God. 4 thirds and a 4th is what this is turning into. The bar is full, man. Are you kidding? All right, at this rate, let me just add in a different frickin' player that I'm considering moving on from. What do you have? You need a wide receiver. Not that I want to move Presley to them. I'd love to move him in a different deal. They do need a corner. Mooney's 28. Not that, I mean, these two guys are still locked in for another year after this, but we could always move Mooney and then bring in a different corner. So if they have interest in Mooney, and they do, that could work out for us too, and we just move 2 guys in the same trade. Let's safety net this really quickly. Take out the 3rd. All right, well, Mooney does have more value than some of those later picks. It'll probably save us a 3rd. Reed, Mooney, and a 3rd for Ingram in their 1st. Still no. Another 3rd. Jesus Christ. They are pinching us for every penny possible. Reed, Mooney, 3 thirds for Ingram and a 1st. There it is. It makes sense. It really does pain me to do it, but it makes too much sense. We move on from Lonnie Reed and Deshaun Mooney, but we bring in Reed's replacement in the same contract, or in the same trade, and who's under contract for the next little bit. That's painful. That is painful. And it's about to get worse. Cameron Walton. Cameron Walton. And we know who we want. It's the X Factor running back from Washington, Chris Kitchens. Same thing as Lonnie Reed. X Factor for X Factor. We just trade him in for the younger model. Not quite as complete of a player. And we are going to do... The dog just farted. So if I pass out, you know why. We're going to try to get a 1st here as well, if we can have the value for it. They need a quarterback. They need a center. We could send Connor Shivers, who was a 1-year rental. We don't want to move a linebacker. We're not going to move a defensive end. Honestly, I mean, if we use Walton and Shivers, apparently they don't want Shivers. What the fuck? You need a center. Why don't you want him? Do you want Enrique? Enrique Chavez would hurt me a lot in terms of cap pen. What the hell? You want Clifton Bryan? Nope. Okay. Well, fuck me then. I don't know if we'll have what it takes to get a 1st rounder here. But we are going to try. Walton and a 3rd for Kitchens and a 1st. How close are we? We might be able to get there with 4th rounders. We might. Let's start off with a bunch of extra fifths and see how close we are. Not close enough. Let's start off with the fourths that we have and 2 fifths and see if we're there. Damn it. What else do you want, though? It doesn't make sense that they wouldn't want the lineman that we have. I'm going to throw him in this trade anyway, just to see. How much further up was that? Okay, it did improve the value of the deal. Not by a ton, but it did help. So if we use Shivers and Clifton Bryan in this trade, 2 positions of need for them. There we go. Even though it says red interest, it still helped a lot. We get rid of some offensive linemen that were 1-year rentals anyway. Walt, I hate that we're trading Cameron Walton, but it makes too much sense. I mean, Walton's willing to take a $6 million pay cut. But again, he's 30. His value is never going to be higher than it is now. Walton, a third, a fourth, Shivers and Bryan. Are we there? Not even close. Jesus Christ. I mean, again, teams do not like giving up first rounders in this game. Not at all. We're going to have to use a future third rounder, but that's okay. That is okay. I think we have a couple. Yeah, we do. We do have a couple. All right. What about a third rounder next year? How are we feeling about that? Oh, God. So about that second round pick next year, we're probably going to have to use that, but I would say it's worth it. Because really, it's Walton for Kitchens, and then you're talking a second, a third, and 2 linemen for a first-round pick, which is worth it. Still no. It's getting to be expensive, but damn it, I want that first. I want that first rounder. I want to have maneuverability. They had a later first, I know, but I want this one. I'm not going to get it, though. I'm not going to get it. We are going to have to go for that later first, and that should be enough. Is it? Yes, it is. Cameron Walton, Shivers, Bryan, a second and 2/3 on their way to the Commanders for Kitchens and a first-round pick. We have traded Lonnie Reed. We have traded Cameron Walton. This was not supposed to be this painful. As we see the veterans that we won the Super Bowl with make their way off of this team. I hate it. I hate it so much. And we might not be done. We might not be done. And Chris Kitchens, he has 3 years left on his deal. Pure elusive back. Has first one free that helps with juke spins or hurdles. Also has closer. That's not bad, man. He's a good running back at this stage already, and he's going to get better. DeAndre McGee is only 27. I want to keep him. Then there's Presley at wide receiver, who was still a toss-up as to whether or not he wanted to stay. He's closer, but he might change his mind now that we're not quite in the Super Bowl chase. I got to see what we could get for him. And then, yeah, don't worry, Ridley's on the list. He's definitely going at 30 years old. Deshaun Presley. David Cologne, so we can get a 26-year-old lineman. Could get a younger wide receiver. It's not a direct one-to-one. But we could get a younger version from Indy. Zach Bundy, born on a Monday. And we're mostly looking at ages for players right now. Oh, yeah, Marco Macklin's insane. Hello, Reed Bryant, but he'd be a flip project. 84 rated corner at 25. He's normal dev, but Eli Rose is maybe the most interesting player of the bunch from Baltimore. He must be under a new contract, too. His rookie deal must be over. Honestly, I mean, shit, dude. He's got 4 more years under contract, and that's not a bad deal. We're going to trade Deshaun Presley to Baltimore for Eli Rose in a 7th. Just straight up. There we go. That works for me. We got 2 players left, although granted, Schumer... Did we trade Schumer? I don't remember. He might have been one of the linemen. I know we added Clifton Bryant. I just don't remember if Schumer was the other lineman that we added, because he was looking for a pretty cheap deal. All of those linemen are on 1-year contracts, right? Dillard, Schumer is only 29. Okay. Let's go, unfortunately, to the gallows for Derek Ridley, another legend of this team. Can we get anything for him that makes a deal worth it? Mitch Skaggs isn't too bad. So we got the LA Chargers with a 24-year-old 78 star tackle. Maurice Taylor, we don't need that running back. Gary Gordon, the other guy's better. Running back that we don't need. Nick Klein, we don't need him. A guard from San Fran, but I'd prefer not to trade within division for this one. Tight end Carlos Caldwell, but we do have a new tight end, so that's fine. Hello, Kendrick Justice. Okay. On Carolina. 24, 81 overall, star dev wide receiver. A linebacker, Tremont Brown, but he wouldn't have space to play. Clean. Forbes is 28. I think we have our guy. We're going to get Kendrick Justice from the Carolina Panthers, a 4th and a 7th. Unless Justice would be a real problem to try to keep on the team. And he might be. But we can get a mentor on this team, no problem. Derek Ridley. For Kendrick Justice, a 4th and a 7th. It's a done deal. As we continue to see a lot of our veterans depart the team as we try to get us into phase 2. Not even phase 2, it's like phase 5. It's as long and drawn out as the MCU at this point. But we're trying to return to a former glory. If we were to put these veteran linemen on the block together, this worked for us last year. Cincy, directly. Crowder, Cunningham, Shaq Elliott. So there's Skaggs again. I mean, that's worth it immediately just to get a super young option. Matt Thomas is 30. Byron Ridley, Devin Canfield's not too bad. The other guy, I mean, they're pretty interchangeable. Khalil Fant. Good for Khalil Fant. He became star dev in Detroit. We drafted him and had to let go of him really quickly. Shaq Batch. What a name. I think we have that other deal. We do indeed. And we'll get we'll trade these 3 for the younger lineman and Mitch Skaggs and a 5th from the Chargers. As we cash out on those with 1 year left in their deal. We've brought in some great young players to fill some of those gaps already. We acquired some first-round picks. This has been a very successful deadline. And at the same time, our team isn't dead in the water. They could still end up being half decent with the younger talents on the team. So we do need to sign a left guard, but Rashad Harper can be the starter. So we need a backup left. Actually, in fairness, it should be a mentor left guard, a mentor center. Honestly, could go with a mentor right guard as well. And then do we start Dave Meltzer? We still got Chast and Tuttle. Our defense, I mean, took a hit or two, but nothing too crazy. Again, look at the corner position. We got better, which is hilarious. And then we do need a starting free safety. Could technically be Travis Rivers. Yeah, we now have 2 first-round picks this year. We don't have anything in the second or third round, but that's by design. We've landed on our feet pretty damn well. Like, we are going to be a weaker team. Ah, shit. Meant to go to free agency. Definitely going to be a weaker team. But I don't think that the window is closed. Right? Like, we have a chance here, depending on how this upcoming draft goes. And again, we made sure to scout based on the idea of those guys could possibly leave. So we've protected ourselves. This could be a good season for us. We needed a mentor guard. Let's bring in the cheapest option possible. And that is going to be Dylan Parham. So he'll be the mentor guard. At center, the window's open, but the screen is down. I like it. We need a mentor center. Bunch of these guys not making that much money. Let's bring in Marquise Brooks. FX, yes, we are at the deadline of that follow-up season. And again, just sold a bit at the deadline. Might as well bring in Spencer Burford. Again, trying to spend as little money as possible. Do we run with Davey Meltzer? The defensive tackle's insane. The quarterback's okay. Is where we're at now. I think we fucking start Dave Meltzer. We'll bring in Mekhi Becton as a safety net, but does the guard mentor cover left and right? So, Rib Salad, great fucking name, by the way. My understanding is it's based on position. So, you know, if you have a prospect at left guard, you want a mentor left guard. I could be wrong. That was always my understanding, though. Let's go for Sam Cosmi here. And at the same time, it can't hurt, right, to have multiple mentors. At least is my thinking. And you can always change their position, exactly. If we were to go for a starting free safety, they would be just as good as who we have there anyway. So we are going to move the other guy over. The younger dude that we already have, because the UDFAs would have already been signed. The AI take advantage later on. So we can afford to be a man down on the roster. Let me go to salaries really quickly. Sam Cosmi hit the gritty. Did he? What a man. All right. Who else is on an expiring deal? We now have a cap penalty of $50 million, but it's only for this year. It doesn't affect us. So expiring deals. All of these dudes were filler players for the year. There is Glenn Parks. All right, we should double check Glenn Parks. We could also double check Glenn Reynolds just to see if he has any trade value. Otherwise, it's not necessarily worth like trading dudes like that because, I mean, whatever, we're not going to get anything for him anyway. DeAndre McGee, but we know we want to keep him. Evan McPherson won't have any value. I think we're okay. I think we're okay to stay where we are. Allow me to put that there for old time's sake. I got to scare the hell out of my dog. Emmy, I'm sorry. I got to turn on the air conditioner. It's so fucking hot in here. Do you ever sit in a sauna-esque room for an hour and a half because you don't want to turn on your air conditioner and scare your dog? That's sacrifice right there, everybody. Putting your dog's sleep over your own comfort. We'll see if she wants to leave because of the noise. We'll see. I do not recommend trading Macklin or Tuttle. Well, see, Macklin and Tuttle have now become the new core. And there are still members of the old guard around. But they are now who this team is built around, essentially. I mean, Macklin's only 25. Chest is 29. Chest is going to be here for a while. Yeah, Tuttle's 22, man. Like, we have transitioned over to a new core. So if I look at Glenn Parks, I don't think he's going to necessarily be worth anything to anybody. Is there anybody with, like, a star dev? Doesn't look like it. All right, yeah, so Parks and Reynolds will stick around. Just tell her you wanted to leave because of her farts. Hey, it was one fart, I think. but it was pretty rank. Did a player go from normal dev to superstar X Factor in one season? Jesus. All right. Well, now we see what we do from here after blowing it up at the deadline again.